It all began in 1855, 100 years ago. Behind these two lighted windows over a drugstore in Oxford, Ohio, 7 young men met on the night of June 27, 1855. The next day, June 28th, the announcement was made. It was the proud but humble beginning of Sigma Chi. Sigma Chi has met every challenge of the passing years, so that today we stand strong with 127 active chapters in colleges and universities throughout the United States and Canada, and 156 alumni chapters and alumni associations, and an international memorial headquarters second to none on the shores of Lake Michigan at Evanston, Illinois. After 100 years, it was a time to celebrate at the Grand Chapter, Sigma Chi's International Convention at Cincinnati, Ohio. The planning sessions began many months in advance. Committees met, assignments were made. Over in Cincinnati, Brother George E. Mayer, General Chairman of the host committee, worked feverishly with his staff on all arrangements. And then the mail began to go out to active chapters, alumni chapters, to Sigma Chi's everywhere. Late in June 1955, the mass migration began. Sigma Chi's, their wives and sweethearts, their children came from every section of both Canada and the United States. They came from Oregon, from Honolulu, from Texas and Oklahoma, from Florida and Alabama, from Montreal and British Columbia, from North Dakota and Washington, D.C. They came in droves, old SIGs, young SIGs, undergraduates, alumni, all wearers of the White Cross. A special tabloid-sized newspaper was printed in honor of the event. Cincinnati's daily newspapers welcomed the travelers in banner headlines. Radio and television newscasters heralded the coming of the Sigma Chi Grand Chapter as a brilliant star in Cincinnati's convention crown. And on Sunday, June 26th, the mass registration began at the Grand Chapter headquarters. The famed Sheraton Gibson Hotel. The old fires of lifelong friendships were rekindled. The hotel halls rang with the boisterous, the exuberant greetings of brothers brought together once again to glory in the past and plan for the next 100 years. On Monday morning, Grand Consul Stanley Barnes sounded his gavel, and the Centennial Grand Chapter officially opened. Grand Tribune Admiral Robert D. Workman extended the reverent invocation. And then came the warm greeting of Mr. Carl Rich, His Honor, the Mayor of the Queen City. For the next 4 days, the city was ours, the gift of Mayor Rich. And thus began the meetings that would carry on the heritage handed down to us by the great Sigma Chi leaders of our golden past. The John S. McMillans, the Joe Nates, the George Ades, the Pop Hennings, the Ben Fishers, and on and on. In a very special sense, they were there too. 3 years having elapsed since the last Grand Chapter, there was much business to transact. Committees charged with definite responsibilities gathered together to lay the groundwork for future fraternity policy. The Sigma Chi Foundation has its very important meeting. The foundation administers a fund in excess of $500,000, a fund devoted to scholarships, student aid, and the establishment of a placement and vocational guidance program. The Sigmas meet, made up of the wives of Sigma Chi's. Founded in 1919 and now 42 chapters strong, the Sigmas are unique. No other organization like it in the Greek letter world. Still more meetings, the Committee on Alumni Chapters, on scholarship, on life memberships, on statutory and constitutional revision, on changing conditions and chapter problems. But a grand chapter isn't all business. Here were three breathtaking young ladies, candidates for the title of International Sweetheart of Sigma Chi. And the grand chapter stag party. The cheers were lusty, the beat was solid. And even Brother Roger Ferger, publisher of the Cincinnati Enquirer, took his turn on the drums. As that former grand chapter stag, the boys got stuck, this time with one of the more tired magicians on the circuit, a man with no talent, but who needs talent with such courage? And the cheering reached its peak as Brother Milton Caniff demonstrated his unfailing talent as the foremost adventure strip cartoonist of this or any other generation. As if to prove our red-bloodedness, we forced ourselves to cheer and applaud for the friends that Milt brought along with him. And then, the arrival of the great day at the Grand Chapter, the 18-bus caravan to Oxford, Ohio, about 30 miles north and a little west of Cincinnati, to pay homage to 7 men, the founders of Sigma Chi. On June 28, 1955, 100 years to the day after that first humble beginning, we traveled the time-honored road to Old Miami University, mother of fraternities, where 3 great Greek letter societies saw the first light of day. Old Miami did its part on that great day in saluting Sigma Chi, the fraternity it cradled 100 years ago. And just 2 years later, in 1857, our founders traveled this same road to Cincinnati for the first grand chapter. Total attendance, 26.